Okay, so this is the pre-battle brief for the French attack on Quatre Bras, and I'll be playing the French. I'll be adopting the persona of Ney, and Rowan will be playing the Prince of Orange, commanding the Netherlands, the Dutch, Belgians, the Allied forces, the British, the Brunswickers, and what have you. Let's look at the terrain first of all. The French deployment area is here. Basically, there's two ridge lines, a road extending. This is the Brussels road, goes from the French frontier through to Brussels. The hamlet of Quatre Bras, which is a small built-up area. A farmyard complex, which is designated a strong point. There's a small stream. This is an impediment to movement. It causes half rate of movement. So if a French column was to cross that stream, instead of moving across at its full move of 9 inches, it would only be able to move 4.5 to get across the stream. There are two ridges here and here, so two small hills, and then another small hill down here, and there's a ridge line here. So you have high ground here, high ground here, and high ground here. This is a wooded area, but it is open woods, and it's classed as rough terrain, and it blocks line of sight 3 inches in or out. These small clumps of trees are incidental. They really have no bearing on the game. So that's the terrain. Obviously, the Allies can deploy in this area behind these ridges, and that is dead ground. I won't be able to see what's there. And you'll see in this game the use of blinds. So each blind card conceals up to 2 units. If it's a white blind card, it'll conceal Allied troops, and obviously blue blind cards conceal French troops. Okay, so what's my plan? Well, I know that the Allies have 2 brigades on table. I suspect they'll garrison the strong point here, and I also suspect that they'll have 1 brigade on this side of the road and 1 brigade on that side of the road. Probably using the reverse slopes of these ridges to deploy their troops. That way they'll be on blinds. I won't be able to see who they are. That'll keep me guessing, and furthermore, it'll protect them from any fire of the enemy. And all the Allied brigades that arrive as reinforcements will have to come on between the road and the left-hand edge of the table as I look at it. So what's my plan? I have 4 infantry brigades and 2 cavalry brigades. I intend to take 2 of my batteries and form an artillery brigade, and I'll deploy the artillery brigade in this area here. The reason for that is I'm trying to convince the Allies that this is going to be where my main effort is, getting across that bridge in the stream here. So I will use Bachul's brigade, consisting of 4 battalions, to attack through the woods and towards the hill. I'll use Campy's brigade of 5 battalions to attack towards the strong point. I will, however, use Soy's brigade to advance in this direction, and my most powerful brigade, Jerome Bonaparte's 6 battalions, but all veterans, will attack through here. The cavalry brigades will come up in support. The idea is quite simply to pin the enemy on this line here, and then envelop him on his left or my right. The idea is that when I throw Jerome Bonaparte's division across, and I'll put them on forward orders and try to get them across as quickly as I can, I'll spook the enemy into turning in this direction. Jerome will come in through here. Soy will exploit the hinge, and these 2 brigades will simply be a demonstration. The cavalry will then come up in support of Jerome or Soy's brigades, and they can go either way. The idea of that is it'll cause the enemy to stack up in this area here. Eventually, he will have numbers on his side and also some good quality troops. But if I can drive them in on towards these crossroads, then hopefully I'll cause them to pile up in this area here. And that's my plan, guys. From a strategic or grand tactical view, it's to be remembered that down this road here, over at the village of Ligny, Napoleon, the emperor, is engaging the Prussians. I don't want the Allies coming down this road, so I want to drive them back onto their lines of communications. But yeah, once I've got these guys engaged on this side, I'll then drive in through here as well. So the idea is just to pile in and pile on. That's my plan. So this is going to be my first attempt at filming a battle of this size. There's going to be over 1,300 miniatures on the table. There's over 20 battalions on each side. And so filming every little occurrence is probably not going to be doable. Initially, I'll just, because I understand there'll be people who've never played General d'Armée before, so I'll try to break down the game, the video by phases, showing, you know, in each phase what occurs. But as the game progresses, we'll start skipping forward and showing, you know, this brigade did that, this brigade did this. If there's some significant engagements or little battles going on between battalions and whatnot, then I'll focus in on that. Other than that, yeah, this should be a learning experience for all involved. So I hope you enjoy it. Please leave comments at the conclusion. If there's something you thought was good, let us know. If there's something you thought was particularly bad,
so
again,
we'll
let
set
us know.
up for Quatre Bras. Oh, so those guys in the wheat field there. All right, so none of these are deployed, are they?
Nope.
None of these chaps back here deployed, but the French are deployed. So we have some blinds here, and there's an infantry brigade here in this area here. Then there's another infantry brigade here, and then there's another infantry brigade there. 2 batteries of 6-pounders, and that's it for the French. You roll for 180C and you see if we get that sucker. Yes. I get 6 with 1 off the table.
Oh, so that's fine.
So I got them all. So I have 6 ADCs. So now this brigade will get 3, and he'll get 1, and he'll get 1, and he will get.
So at the beginning of each turn, both sides roll to see how many of their potential ADCs they can have, and you get 1 ADC per brigade as a general rule. But the Prince of Orange is classed as a blusterer, so he automatically loses 1. But I have 6 brigades on the table, so I get potentially 6 ADCs. You roll a d6 per ADC on a roll of 3+, the ADCs available. I got 6, and the way I allocated mine was I gave 1 to each infantry brigade on a brigade attachment tasking. That means that the brigade can re-roll any failed command rolls, so to make sure that it obeys orders. If it doesn't obey orders, it will become hesitant. And I gave the other 2 ADCs to Jerome Bonaparte's brigade to give them a forwards order, because I wanted to get them to move along fairly quickly, and a forwards order enables them to roll 3d6, and the score of that is how many additional inches of movement you get. That did mean that I wasn't going to be able to give any ADCs to my cavalry brigades, so if they were to go hesitant, there's nothing I could do about it. I wasn't going to be able to give them a re-roll.
All right, so I'll roll for this brigade first. He's just got a re-roll.
Yep.
He's fine. All right, this brigade here's got a re-roll, and he's fine. This brigade's got a re-roll, and he's fine. This brigade has a re-roll, and it's on a forward order. So no. Right, has he got a re-roll? Come back here.
There you go.
Yes, so they're going to go forward. All right, and then that leaves 2 other brigades that are there. So
They've got re-rolls?
no, they're just brigade on this side.
Yep.
Hesitant, and brigade on the far side. Hesitant. Okay.
Oh, that whole
okay,
line was like...
So I've got 2 hesitant brigades there. Oh, pardon me.
Yep. So you're a -2.
Yep, so I've got 2 hesitant brigades.
I'll roll for mine first, of course. Yep. Over here. Fine.
Yeah, he's fine, and the guys behind the hill,
fine.
All right, so the bottom line is I've got 2 brigades on here, so I roll 2d6, and I'm -2. All right, so I'm 6.
Total of 6.
Yeah.
And I'm a total of 4.
4. Oh, so I still...
We're
we're 4. We're tied.
No, you're 8.
Oh, that's
6,
right. I was 8, yeah, 8
and
and
I'm
6.
4. 6,
yeah.
4.
So I go first.
That's fine. I like you to.
All right. So
Like a bit hesitant on that side, so that's
So,
handy.
with that in mind,
Oh.
the first phase, and the first phase is we've done the ADCs and we've rolled for that. And we've done the initiative, declare charges, supports, and conduct charges. All right. I'm not going to declare any charges. Have you got any charges you want to declare?
No.
So we go past charges. Now we go to movement. Phasing player moves, non-phasing player. Okay. So
You go first.
phasing player moves.
Let's see how much you've got. Now, what does it say? Rough terrain.
Yeah. Let's call it rough. It's not impenetrable, but it is rough.
If you're a fog or walk hard,
Yeah.
half speed.
Yeah, right. So, fog war cards move same rate as just standard infantry, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So an infantry column
Oh,
would
here we
not...
go. Yeah, it's got it here, 12 inches.
Yeah, so 6 inches. All right.
Which is actually faster than most things, actually. It moves as fast as skirmishers.
Well, it could be because they...
Oh, I'm just saying that, but a fog
Yeah.
war card is 12 inches, so that's as fast as a skirmish, right?
Yeah.
And actually faster than regular cavalry. There you go.
It should be faster than regular cavalry. Regular cavalry move more than 12 inches, don't they?
Cavalry, stepping back, sorry, 15.
Yeah, I was
So
going to say,
it's-
cavalry moves.
So a fog of war cavalry will move slightly slower.
Yeah.
That's right.
And then just normal infantry columns, what do they move?
Infantry in a column, 9 inches.
And skirmishers?
And skirmishers will move 12.
All right.
So 9 for foot.
All right, so the skirmishers are like crested the hill. So if I go a foot, which puts me, we'll say they're not, you've got to go past halfway. So they're not yet,
Behind the line.
but yeah, they can't yet see what's there. But these chaps are coming forward with drums blazing. It'll say on the thing that BUAs, strong points, will tell you how many CDs they fire. So it'll be under skirmish fire, and then it should say something like
Are we large or standard? I think it's a set number that goes from a...
Yeah, but it'll say, it's got skirmish screens, and then it'll say BUAs.
Well, it's got garrison fire.
Garrison fire, there you go.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
So if we're a large, it's the same.
Yeah, it
it's
is.
the same. 2, 3, 4. It's
Yeah.
the same.
Yeah.
It's the same. And so we are the 26th Jaegers.
Yeah, they're a large unit, so it'll be classed as a large
Large, so we will fire 4 CDs
Yeah.
in any
direction you want.
from each wall, apparently.
You fire, yeah, I think you can fire 4 from each
Each
does
side.
Does it say from each side or something like that?
I could find in the book.
Yeah.
It just says 4. So I think one of the QAs was
I think you can.
Is it 4 rear?
I think it's
or is it
4.
divided, or?
It's 4, but rather than going 1, 1, 1, 1, you can go all 4 from one side.
Yeah.
Or all 4 from one side, or all 4 from one side.
I think you have up to 4 from every side. I'm thinking, but I will check. Shooting 91. There we go.
The rules for firing out of BOAs in General d'Armée are pretty good, actually. The entire garrison may fire from any side of the BUA or strong point as the player sees fit, or may split fire from various sides. The player does not need to designate which areas or faces of the BUA the garrison is defending. So, in the case of a large battalion garrisoning a strong point, such as this farm, they could fire all 4 CDs out of one side in the firing phase.
Other lads thrown in.
Yeah.
And attacking units, you lose a casualty die.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay. Okay, alright. What are they shooting from a bird, eh? Fire combat, 75. Let's have a look at that then. Burr and strong points, all volleys and art fire are reduced to half effect. And that's after the -1 modifier.
Yeah, so you do all the minus. Yeah,
Minuses and then apply.
and then you apply the.
Okay. Firing through skirmishing.
Now they're on a forward order, so they go. I get 3.
Who's forward? Sorry.
These got this command here.
The one that and the rest were hesitant, aren't they?
Yeah, that's right. So the brigades on the flanks weren't hesitant, but the rest of the brigade.
The middle one.
So the middle brigade.
The middle brigade will go forward.
Yeah, will go forward. Now, on a forward command, you gain 3d6 movement. I'll just check.
Forwards is 2 ADCs, add 3d6
Yep.
inches to normal movement.
Yep.
Or add 2d6 to your charge.
Yeah.
Okay.
3d6 normal movement. So that's another 9 inches.
Cool.
So blinds move 12. All my movement done.
Yes.
So yeah, basically this brigade here is advanced. That's Brachel's brigade. Campy's brigade's advanced. Soy's brigade advanced. Jerome Napoleon.
I keep saying Jerome Napoleon. It's Jerome Bonaparte. There is only one Napoleon.
Brigades. Well, it's obvious what they are. They went hesitant. So the cavalry have gone, oh, we're not so sure about this. But yeah, that's it. Your movement.
Okay, well, don't like the French being this close. It's not very nice.
Yeah, right off the bat, it's like, charge. Let's go forward, boys.
Well, movement is first. Holding the ridgeline with some of our rubbish troops is probably not the greatest. So we'll move 12 back from there because it's actually not achieving anything.
All right.
It's probably not really clear in this footage, but those 2 white blinds there, to the left as you're looking at it of the bridge, they're actually behind high ground. So that stream, directly in front of that stream on the French side of the stream, that's a ridge there. So there's high ground there. That's why those troops are on blinds. And the other 3 blinds, again, they're behind a ridge. So this is why all the Allied troops at the moment are on blinds, because quite frankly, my Frenchmen cannot see them. They know they're there, but they don't exactly know who they are. The only ones we're pretty clear on is the 27th Jaeger that are in the farm, which has been converted into a strong point. Again, those troops that you see in the wheat field over there, they're actually not deployed. They've just been placed there by Rowan. And once those blinds are revealed, they'll be transferred from the wheat field where they're lurking into where the blinds are. So yeah, sorry for that eyesore.
So I'll orientate that.
That away, yeah. Refusing a flank. Yeah. And that's two battalions there.
Do I need to put another one across? Probably not.
Mhm.
Let's do that. Like so. Keep you away.
Yep.
They've moved back. They'll now shoot. Oh, we're up to shooting.
Oh yeah, that's right. We're up to shooting, so then I shoot and then you shoot. So that's all your movement done?
Yeah.
So, now that movement's done, looking at the handy dandy thing, the next thing happens is firing. The phasing player fires, then the non-phasing player fires. All right.
So the only firing that took place was between the French skirmishers from Campy's brigade and the French 2 6-pounder batteries, firing into the BUA, or the strong point, garrisoned by the 27th Jaeger. That resulted in one hit on the garrison and one skirmisher from the French being knocked over. So there being no melee phase, we move straight into turn 2. So it's the conclusion of turn 1, beginning of turn 2. Reinforcements arriving for the Allies are the Brunswick Light Infantry Brigade. So now it was the beginning of turn 2. I got 5 out of my 6 possible ADCs were available. Rowan got 2 from 2. He actually has 3 brigades, but the Prince of Orange is classed as a blusterer, so he loses 1 ADC straight away. So he then rolled for all his brigade attachments, and basically they all passed. I got 1 brigade hesitant. I used 3 ADCs again on Jerome Bonaparte's brigade, and I put the other 2 ADCs on the 2 cavalry brigades. Campy's brigade went hesitant, but every other brigade was obeying orders, so I had a -1 to my roll. And then we rolled for initiative, and despite the fact that I had a -1, the French retained the initiative again. So we now went into the movement phase, and well, let's watch the movement phase, shall we?
Forward again. So guys are all veterans.
Was he the king or something?
He was the king of Westphalia, but then his brother fell from grace, and so did Westphalia. So that was the end of that.
So no job for the brother.
No job for him. All right. So what I'll do is I'll move the blinds, and then I'll put the troops down. Well, actually, I'll move the troops, but
Move your blinds. So that's a forwards order, so they get 3d6.
That's 3d6.
Until they get within a certain range of the fog, the blind though.
Yeah, but it's half. It's half initially crossing the stream, so
Is it, I think it's
half movement. So
yeah, so literally, as long as you hit the river, it's not like a proportion thereof. If you hit it, you lose half.
That's right.
Say 6 inches. Boom.
Yeah. So normally they would move 9. So but they can only move 4.5.
Well, actually, do you roll your dice?
Yeah.
You get 3d6, don't you?
Yeah, 3d6.
3d6 plus your 12, half.
Yeah.
So
14 plus
12,
9. Well, because they're off blinds now.
Okay, sorry.
14 plus 9, 23.
23 halved. We'll say 12. Yeah. Well, 11 and a half.
Jerome's brigade was right at the face of or bank of the stream when they rolled, so their initial movement for being in column would be 9. Going across that stream would have cost them half that, so 4.5. And then 14 again on the forwards roll, so they probably would have moved. They probably should have moved around about 18 inches. But we settled on 12 at the end of the day.
They're all veterans. So these are the best infantry I got.
Whoa. I'm going to see them against the just in front of the.
Yeah.
A little bit back there.
That's 2 battalions there.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's 2 battalions here.
So you'll reveal this blind.
Yeah. So we'll see what that is.
And how close can we go to blinds? Is there like a limit on how?
Oh no, it's just as soon as I get within. I think it's when I get within 18 inches or something.
Well, funnily enough,
it just revealed.
It was dummy.
It was a blind. There's a dummy.
I wasn't going to do a lot. I didn't have a lot of material to fake with.
Okay, so in my movement, these guys are hesitant, so they didn't do anything. These guys have advanced. They came over the crest. I went, oh look, they're Netherlands troops. These guys moved through the field towards the ridge. These guys went forward again, across. The cavalry's moved up, and all the Nassaus and the Dutch Belgians, the Netherlanders, have formed up, and the Brunswickers have arrived. All right, shooting.
So the Allied troops for their movement, the Dutch Belgians, the Netherlanders, they retired. The Brunswick Light Brigade arrived, and the Nassaus, they refused their flank and also retired back, facing off towards the advancing troops of Jerome Bonaparte.
I think I can shoot at your skirmishers, but I don't think I can shoot at your line.
Okay.
So yeah. So how far away? Yeah. Okay. So I can fire my skirmishers at your skirmishers.
Yep.
Okay. So I've got 4 skirmishers.
Just three
dice.
dice. I think 3
And but I lose one because I'm shooting at skirmishers.
So 2 dice.
So I'm 2 dice.
You can reach that, can you?
Yeah. 1 hit.
4 plus, or was it 5 plus?
I'll just check. I thought it was 4 plus.
Could be wrong.
Could be skirmishers. I think skirmish fighters is 5, 6, and artillery casualties are 4, 5, 6. So
Yeah.
it's 5, 6. So no hits from them.
Okay. Should we
Okay, so
return
that's
fire?
I'll just go all the way along.
Oh,
and you
yes,
guys
go
can
for it,
shoot.
yes.
So here I've got 1, 2, 3, 4.
Into the building.
5 bases. So we said it was 2, didn't we?
So it was. So if you've got 4, 5, 4.
Yeah. I've got 5 bases.
5, so that's
So
4.
normally before.
But you lose half,
Yeah.
which takes you to 2, and then you.
Hardly out the results.
So yeah, that's what we do, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh well, it's not half. It's actually -2.
Yeah.
So that's 1,
So yeah, it's 1 hit.
and that gets halved. Is that how it goes? No.
Which one are you looking at?
Oh, so we've got skirmisher fire,
Yeah.
and you get 4 dice,
Yeah.
and you're fighting target, which is in a garrison,
Yeah.
-2 dice. It's not half. It's just 4 -2.
Okay. Yeah.
That's
So
2 dice.
yeah.
And then halve casualties.
Yeah.
If in a Burr or strong
Yeah.
point
So I've
garrison.
got 1.
So it goes to,
So half 1. So what I do is I have to roll again, and if I get a 4, 5, or 6,
it's
it's
a
a
cash.
casualty. Well,
Roll it again, mate. Yep. In the box.
no. So no casualty there.
Okay. So I'll
Okay,
throw
so-
some more smoke out for
Yeah.
you. Hang on, Scott. There you go. Show that you've
Yeah, they're going pop, pop, pop.
blazed away.
Okay, and now I'm going to.
Once the skirmishers had completed their fire, the artillery brigade opened fire on the strong point.
Yeah.
So 5,
Four.
4.
Effective or close? Effective?
Effective range, yeah.
0.
So the back
Yeah, you've got smoke in front of your guns.
Yeah. And then I don't think anything else is in range anywhere.
No.
So boom, boom, boom.
Boom, boom, boom. I got 4
There's
dice.
a ridge between them and they're out of range. So yeah.
4 dice.
So you got
straight
4
again.
casualty dice.
2.
2 hits. Okay, so that's 1, 2.
So we knocked 1 base away, have we?
Yeah, you've knocked 1 base away.
Huzzah.
Yeah, so skirmishers, once they take 3 hits, a base is removed. It's the only figure removal in the game.
So that's all shooting.
I've got some
There's
shooting.
no. Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. You got those skirmishers and the guns there.
So the skirmishers is 2 dice.
Yep.
Skirmishers are 2 dice. Is funnily enough still 2 CD.
2 CDs. Yep.
2 CDs. Firing at yours because I'm firing at skirmishers. I need a 5.
No, it's. I think isn't it hard? Do you lose a dice or what's
Oh,
it?
I don't know. Let's get it.
Let's have a look.
Shooting at skirmishers, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Target is
skirmish
skirmishers
yeah.
or in cover. Lose a dice.
Yeah, yeah. Exactly.
So 1 dice needing a 5
5 or
plus.
6.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
So your skirmishers shot at my skirmishers and they did a same amount of damage. They did nothing.
Schmoke the shit out of the shot.
Schmuck for the.
The schmockies.
And then you're going to fire your battery, I guess. So the battery could fire at these guys here, which is the obvious target.
Yep.
Oh
this guns can also shoot at you.
yeah, and those guns over there.
We'll just go kablami over here. Yeah. So we will shoot the ones that we can see, which is the guys there, and they're in column, aren't they?
So Rowan then was going to fire the two batteries that he had, one with the Dutch Belgian troops and the one with the Nassaus, but considering both of these batteries had moved in the movement phase, he decided it wasn't worth firing them, considering the risk of inflicting fatigue casualties on his gunners was, in his opinion, not worth the effort. So there was no firing from the batteries.
No charges, no combat. All the hesitants come off. And now we move on to turn three.
Oh, more troops, please.
Yeah. You get...
So we now find ourselves at the beginning of turn 3, and the Allies receive at the beginning of turn 3 Pax Brigade. This is a pretty powerful brigade. It consists of the 1st Regiment, the Royal Scots, the 42nd Highlanders, the Black Watch, the 92nd Highlanders, and the Little Fours, the 44th Regiment. All 4 of these battalions are standard size battalions, and they're all veterans. So that's a handy additional brigade to help out the Allied cause. So it's the beginning of the turn, so we roll to see how many ADCs we get. Of the 6 possible ADCs that I had, I was able to muster up 4, and of the 4 possible ADCs that the Allies could muster up, Rowan was able to access 3.
So what I've done is I've got 4 infantry brigades, so I'm giving each of my infantry brigades a re-roll. Okay,
So with my 4 ADCs, I decided to allocate 1 per infantry brigade on a brigade attachment task. So that would give my infantry brigades a re-roll, and that would mean my cavalry brigades and my artillery brigade would not get any brigade attachments whatsoever.
What do you do today?
he's got a re-roll. He's got a
re-roll.
He's
He's
like,
oh, do I have to? Yeah,
he's
right.
fine. Okay, so now Campy.
Campy. All right, mate.
Check.
Throw him in. No, he's
he's
not
got a re-roll.
Got a re-roll. The order said,
5.
come on in.
Yeah, so Campy's good.
So he had a couple of lads just
Okay.
as well. The
Yeah, they were the ADC's like, no. Soy.
Oh,
Into the trays. Soy's fine. He never lets me down.
So with Jerome Bonaparte's brigade also passing their orders, all my infantry brigades were obeying orders. My chasseurs under Hubert, they passed and they followed orders, but unfortunately Wathier's Lancer brigade failed to accept their orders and they went hesitant. So I had a grand total of 1 brigade that was hesitant.
Dutch Netherlands Brigade, yeah.
Dutch lads.
Yeah, they're fine.
Oh,
The Brunswickers.
with the re-roll. And the
Nassau.
Nassaus.
Yeah.
Yep. And last but not least,
The British packs.
with a re-roll.
Ooh.
With a re-roll. 3.
Oh, yes. Okay, so I'm at a -1. So 2d6 -1.
We've been the initiative the last 2 turns.
Okay,
A
I'm
9. 10.
10. Okay, finally the Allies, with the arrival of Pax Brigade.
Should we say the British turning up?
Yes, they've pulled the initiative back. All right, so the British will have the initiative for the first turn.
That's right.
So, charge decks.
I have none.
Do I have any? Funnily enough, I don't have any. All right, so no charge decks for either side. Movement. All right,
I
so
can remove my ADCs.
yeah. So yeah, I'm gathering the ADCs now. We know that
We know what they're doing.
they're all returning to.
No fancy stuff going on.
They're all returning to Nay on the hill.
Exactly. Boom, boom, boom. I shall probably get those guys to step back 3, leaving the guns there. And then I will advance the Brunswickers, and then I'll send Pack on, and I'll figure out these guys. Okay, yep, that's what I'll have to do.
So in this turn's movement phase, Rowan thought that the best thing he could do was withdraw the line of Netherlands troops, the Dutch Belgians, on his right flank. He decided to withdraw them. He would then feed the Brunswick light troops through their lines to skirmish. Pax Brigade he would then bring onto the table. And finally, he would decide what he was going to do with the Nassau troops under Saxe-Weimar.
You know, the guns are settling in. They brought their ammunition casings up.
That's right.
And the Cantieri, because the Cantieri, she knows that the best place to be is hanging out with the gunners. She's like, here I am, I brought some.
Dare I say, it's probably best to hang out for logistics, but you know,
Yeah.
they got the better cutter.
She is the logistics.
Well, that's right. Yes. Better cutter meats.
Yeah.
Will pop us out. Look at that.
Yeah. So they're going to pass through the skirmishes.
So we'll
They're
wait
gonna
those
pass. Yeah. They could stay in the skirmish line if they want.
So now it'll pop me out like.
Yeah.
Oh, you
It's
can
an
they could
insanely large skirmish screen of light infantry.
Yeah.
Lots of Brunswick light infantry come surging forward.
And these guys.
So now would be an opportune moment to discuss briefly how skirmish screens work in General Armée. Each battalion, as a general rule, will generate a single skirmish base, and so that means, say for example, a 4-battalion brigade would generate skirmish screens consisting of 4 bases, and that skirmish screen has to stay within 18 inches of its parent brigade. Light infantry battalions, by contrast, they can form their own, form into skirmish formation, and they can operate independently. And a standard size infantry battalion of 4 would produce 4 bases. Rowan's light brigade, as a consequence, was able to can produce 16 skirmish bases,
These guys only form a combat.
because there's 3 light battalions
right,
and
yeah.
then the standard size avant-garde, which also can produce another 4 skirmish bases.
Yes. All right. So, those cards over there, that's Pax Brigade. But I can't really tell who they are because they're behind such a heavy screen of skirmishes. I mean, it's the world's largest skirmish screen of Brunswickers. It's like a German skirmish screen.
In stealth
All
black.
right. So that's all right. So now I'm going to do my movement.
You've only,
All right,
got
so
one,
I'll start.
you've only got one hesitant one, haven't you?
That's right,
like
which
the
is that cavalry unit. They're not hesitant. They're what they're doing is they're just measured. They're like, we're going to be sensible about this. All right. So first things first.
Leave them on.
Let's move through the woods.
Oh, you'll be. Won't you be turning up? As in,
Say again.
oh, the blind. Will we be able to see you?
Well, we're in the wood. How far
12.
away?
Once you get to 12.
I'll stay back just.
12.1.
Yeah, they're watering themselves in the stream there. They're getting a drink.
Yeah.
These guys will just stay there. This lot will move up with these guys. So 4.5 through the woods. Cooking.
Okay, so you're not moving your guys across the river?
No, not yet. They'd be just marching into oblivion.
Lots of shooting.
They just march in, getting shot to pieces. So they're like, oh, hang on. This was unexpected. Okay, here. 9 inches. All right.
Oh, they're getting ready.
Not that battalion. This battalion. They'll come up. You're going, right, lads, we're going to show you how this is done, all right? Like, just everyone just stand back. Okay, over here, half movement across the stream. So I normally move 12, that means I'll move 6. So I'll be on this side of the ridge.
You're staying under the ridge.
Yeah, so we're on this side of the hill.
Yeah, it's just out of shot here, but the skirmish screen, the 6 bases of skirmishers from Soy's brigade, they have crossed the stream and are now on the reverse side, the reverse slope of the ridge that is in the centre of the table. So they're just moving up. So I continue with the movement on my right flank. Jerome Bonaparte's division continued their movement across the stream, and now we went into the shooting phase with the Allies having the initiative, firing first.
One dice. Take that, monsieur.
Oh, yeah. That's a skirmisher.
And you have 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep. So we'll shoot back.
A 3. -1 is 2.
2. 2 hits.
Ah!
Merde. Schweinenhund.
Oh, you outshot my German Jaegers.
Yeah.
I shall up the ante and fire a big gun at you.
Yeah.
But I won't be showing at your skirmishes, eh?
Yeah.
I shall.
Oh, just my guys are shooting back.
I will shoot some guys in big columns.
Yep. Okay.
Because why not?
Okay, so they're not mass columns because I'm not side by side. I'm echeloned. All right. So let's have a look.
How many bounce throughs do you think we can get?
Okay. So who are you shooting at?
Well, that's the
If you shoot it,
that's the 10th.
them,
That's the
you'll get a
10th.
bounce through onto them.
Yes. If I shoot them, I'll
A bounce through onto them.
Oh, would I get bonus for hitting them on the side?
Nah. There's no bonuses for. It's just it's a bounce through. It's a bounce through.
Technically, I can get. Can I get 3?
Nah, because they're not behind them.
Yeah, 2.
So
I'm going
you
to
get 2.
2. Just 2. And these are all veterans, same lads, aren't they?
Yeah, they're all veterans. That's a veteran brigade. It's the 1st and 2nd Light Regiments.
I shall
So they don't
punish
knock
this
around.
one and then that one.
All right. So skirmishers don't stop have any effect against round shot.
Effective range.
Yep. They just stop. So effective range. You just let's have a look here. The target is it's not an elite battery. It's not a large battery. It's not assault fire. You don't have casualties. You did not move. You're not unformed. The target is it's a column target effective. So you get a CD. Okay. It's not mass duplicate columns. So it's just you just get 2 dice.
Red is the CD.
And the red is the CD.
And the white will be the bouncer on the unit behind.
Sure.
Which is another CD, correct?
Yep.
So red is the front.
Yep.
White is the back. Shooting at
them boys. Yep. Ooh. So you rolled a 4.
4's not terrible.
You get 1 on the. You got a 1 on the bounce through.
So I got 1 on the bounce through.
So that's it. But
A
4 is a battery firing at effective range. Rolls a 4. Nothing.
So
But you did cause a casualty
on the guys
at
behind. So not great.
Yeah.
But it's
So quickly, what is bounce through? Bounce through is when artillery fires at a target. There's always a chance that some rounds might either bounce through the target and strike another unit to the rear. So any units that are directly behind and in line of the fire of the battery, there's always a slight chance that they might suffer casualties as well. So you roll a single dice per unit that is directly in line and behind the target unit. If it's within, I think it's 3 inches off the top of my head, and then that unit on a roll of 4, 5, or 6 suffers a casualty. So that's bounce through fire for you. Okay, so what followed next was a bit of a discussion between Rowan and I in regards to who the garrison in the strong point could shoot at. The garrison fires as if it's a skirmishing unit, and skirmishers cannot fire through other skirmish screens. So if I have skirmishers in front of my columns from Campy's brigade, which I do, that means that the skirmishers or the garrison have to shoot at them. However, if there is an infantry column that is not being screened, such as on the left, on my left or the right of the strong point, the garrison could shoot at that column. And after a bit of discussion, Rowan decided that he would get better bang for his buck by getting the garrison to fire from the right-hand side of the strong point into the flank of the passing French column, rather than engaging the skirmishers that were milling around in front of the strong point. And when they did fire, they actually caused 3 casualties, so that turned out to be quite a wise decision.
Dice.
Yeah.
So none of this stuff comes in.
Yeah, that's right. We're going off this.
Yeah.
Garrison and skirmish fires all the same.
Yeah.
Well, unless you're the fancy lads there.
Yeah.
Large battalion shooting. Do I get a +1 dice?
Well, actually,
I get a
now
+1.
that I think about it, I think skirmishers do have to shoot at skirmishers. I'm thinking volleys shooting through
But
skirmishers.
I'm not a skirmisher.
You're a garrison.
Yeah.
So yeah, garrisons shoot at
When
garrisons.
can you ignore skirmish screens?
It's when my guys come through the skirmish screen to attack you.
But I'm not a skirmisher, I'm a garrison, so
That's right.
So I can shoot the guys behind them.
No, you can't. I'm thinking volley fire.
Okay.
Yeah, it's skirmishers have to shoot at skirmishers because it's the little wall between the lines, so they're just shooting away at
Got
them.
an extra bonus for being large. I think so.
The only rule you really need to remember in regards to casualty dice in General d'Armée is that if it's a skirmish screen or a garrison that's firing, they fire just using casualty dice. And
No, they're large.
basically, for each casualty dice you have, you roll it. If you score a 5 or a 6, you score a hit. 1 to 4, it's a miss. Casualty dice fired by artillery or troops in line, like volley fire, their casualty dice are, in addition to rolling 2d6 and then the score on that cross-referenced with a table will tell you how many hits you've caused. And if they get bonus casualty dice, then those casualty dice will cause casualties if they score a 4, 5 or a 6. So that's casualty dice in General d'Armée. We've probably made it sound it's more complicated than it actually is. It's actually a very simple system.
So we will shoot. Oh, your screen's gone down, but you're going to go in and shoot me. Boom, boom, boom. But you can only send one battalion at a time.
No, it's only one at a time, and you're
one at a time.
yeah. So it's for me to attack that. It's a crumbling thing. I throw one battalion in, they get thrown back. I throw another battalion in, they get thrown back, and I just keep throwing battalions in, trying to eventually crumble you.
Yeah.
That's the way I would do it.
And I'll get a volley at you when you charge through.
That's right. So you throw casualty dice.
So whilst just covered, there's no point. So I might as well go shooting to the guys to the side, other side of the road.
Yeah. Then we get 12.
Take
and you get
4 hits, 3 hits.
Yeah,
4 hits.
3. 1, 2, 3. Because they're casualty. They're
as discussed earlier. Why can't that be my artillery dice, Scott?
Yeah.
11 if you like.
okay. So those guys.
Well, does that make them tired?
No, one more,
they start
and
going
they would drop. Well, if they were, it just means that they're not
fresh.
Yeah, they're not fresh. So they've been
Good shooting, Jaegers.
There's people that are shooting at us from the side of the.
Good shooting.
So that's what you're shooting, isn't it?
No, I've got 1 cannon now.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And Monsieur, well, sorry, not Monsieur.
Yeah.
Canon, being German, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Can't see that lad because he's on the other side of the ridge.
Yeah.
That's what you've done.
That's the only battalion you can see is that one that's the first battalion standing on the hill.
I think we'll shoot him. We're in effective range.
You can shoot that first battalion on the hill there.
And I'll get no extra dice or anything fancy like that.
No, it's just, what's the range? Effective,
23,
did we say?
yeah.
23, so it's effective. I rolled a 6.
6.
I think it's going to be 1. Effective battery 6 is 1 hit.
Take that.
Yeah, take that, you dastard. The fall on the hill, you.
Not quite devastating at 3-5, but well.
Hey, it's, every bit counts. It could be the straw that breaks the camel's back eventually.
Well, a trit.
Yeah.
Hopefully, that's the plan. Ow.
They're staying on the hill, shot at. Why are we staying on the hill getting shot at? Oh, because that's what you do. Okay, and here I'm going to fire those guys into them.
So the first battery?
So first battery, so it's -1 and then halved. So it's 9, so it's 8. So 8 hits.
Goes to 2, which goes to 1.
Yeah, so 1 hit from them, and then the other battery
goes to
6.
5.
6 is 5,
which is half.
which is half. So no. So but 1 hit.
Yeah, funnily enough, strong points and garrisons are quite hard to inflict casualties on. When you fire at them, you're firing at a -1, and then whatever casualties are caused, they are then halved. So, it's pretty hard to knock them down. So that ended the firing phase, and that meant we moved on to the melee phase. Obviously, there was no melee phase, so now we pushed on to the beginning of turn 4. So at the beginning of turn 4, the French had 4 out of their 6 ADCs. 3 were allocated to Jerome Bonaparte's Brigade, and they were given an infantry assault order for 2 ADCs. They were given a brigade attachment, so they got a re-roll, and the Lancer brigade under Wathiers was also given a re-roll.
Starting all the guy over the way over there. Yeah, he's good. He's got no problem.
One's in front of the...
Yeah, one in front. Yeah, Campy's brigade. Oh, they're gone hesitant. Well, that's to be expected. So Campy's hesitant.
The lad next to him in the turnip pack. Well, probably the onion field, maybe.
Yeah. So that was Campy. Yeah, the guys in the field, that's Soy's brigade. Yeah, they're good. Soy's okay. Now, Joseph.
Bonaparte's lad?
Yep.
No.
Well, he's got a re-roll though.
Alrighty.
He's come good.
He's good.
Okay. The Chasseur brigade.
No.
Nope. No, they're hesitant. And finally, the guys, the Lancers with the... And they're fine.
Okay, so
All right.
2 lads.
So I've got
2 his.
the Chasseurs. I've gone hesitant. And the guys in front of
The villa, the
strong point have gone hesitant. All right. So that leaves your guys now.
Okay. The Dutch lads over there.
Yep. The Dutch Belgians.
Dutch Belgians. Fine.
They're fine.
The Brunswickers in front of them.
Yeah. Yep.
Did I give them a re-roll? I think I did. Yes, I did. I've got 4.
1, 2, 3, and they're the ones with the reroll.
Yeah, there's a
So it wasn't the guys coming on the table. Did you got the reroll?
Yep. The table is. Yes, you're right. You're right. You are correct.
Yes.
The Nassaus do not. Brunswickers do not have a re-roll.
Yeah, but they're fine anyway.
The Nassau lads.
Nassau guys, Saxe Weimar's brigade.
Saxe Weimar.
They're fine.
Pack,
which is on the white over there.
Fine. They
got
the forwards order.
Yep.
And then I've got the more Brunswick.
Yeah, more Brunswickers.
More Brunswickers.
Oh, they're hesitant.
They got the re-roll.
There you go. Yep, they have.
Fine.
Okay, and then Merlin, the Dutch Belgian cavalry. They're fine. So you've got no minuses. I've got a -2. So I am 5.
Total 5. Total
5.
I had the initiative last turn, so I keep it.
That's right. Yes.
Oh, that was...
So we both rolled the same, but because you had the initiative last turn, you have the initiative this turn. All right. So charge decorations. Oh, these guys are on infantry assault. So they've passed that now. So they now are on infantry assault.
And do they have a
specific target?
Yeah.
They do. Their target is Quatre Bras.
Now, last time you got a long way to go.
Yeah, right. Marseille.
Oh,
These guys,
That's
you
what
can't say.
that's what we said.
You can't say that they're not.
Keen.
They're keen.
They're keen.
We're going all the way last time.
So, yeah, via Quatre Bras. But
Yeah.
Of course. Okay, so an infantry assault.
So it's the beginning of turn 4, and what can the Allies look forward to receiving? Well, on arriving on turn 4 is Spreck's Brunswick line, which consists of 3 standard infantry battalions classed as reservists and a foot battery. Also arriving on turn 4 is Merlin's light cavalry brigade, consisting of the 5th Light Dragoons and the 6th Hussar. They're standard campaign cavalry, and they're classed as reservists as well. So yeah, a turn 4, a big turn for the Allies to receive reinforcements.
Assault from them.
Yeah, I mean, you keep rolling forward.
Yeah, they're just going to go. Push on, boys, push on.
Oh, far out. Okay. So first things first is...
So charge decks.
No.
I don't have any either because I'm not... Well, I could chance my arm and hope that one of those battalions would reach, but I'm going to move closer. They're just going to keep rolling forward. So we've got no charge decks. Okay, so movement. And you move first, and then I move, and...
Since our Frenchman's not going to oblige us.
Yeah. No, the French on that flank are like, what we'll do. Okay, so that should reveal my blind now, which is a dummy. It's a dummy blind. There was no one there. Whoa. We were so cunning. No one expects a blind in the woods. No, it's like a Spanish Inquisition. No one expects a Spanish Inquisition or blinds in the woods.
That's right. So we can just use ourselves a little micro distancing. As we call it in Australia. What is it? Social distancing?
Yeah. Everyone's like...
As you can see, Scott and I are experiencing social distancing. So
So
we are
that-
4 feet apart.
We are completely
Social distance.
social distance. If I stand on this end of the table and Rowan stays down at that end of the table,
That is approximately 6 feet.
there we go.
Actually, it's more than 6 feet, Scott.
It's
Our table
more.
is
It's
8.
the table's 9, so on the thing it'll be probably closer to 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. If I go straight ahead with the Brits, do I have to give my direction before I roll? Or do I roll my dice?
No, yeah, you say where you're going and then you roll your dice.
So normally as a card I'll go 12 because I'm behind this rather handy dandy screen.
Mm-hmm.
And if I go, and it's 3d6, isn't it?
It's yeah, an extra 3d6. So you go forward and you go an extra 3d6. You don't have to go the full distance though. It's just that's how far you can go. It's not like you're, oh, I'm committed, we're going that way. That puts us in the stream. No, we're not idiots.
So I could use 12 to go right behind the Brunswicks.
Yep.
And then use 3d6 to go forward through the Brunswickers. But that would make me unformed.
That's right. You would be.
Even though they're under skirmishes.
Oh no! If you're going through the skirmishes,
Yeah.
no, you just move through the skirmish screen.
And
That's all right.
that means I move 3d6.
Yeah.
And that means I could almost.
But you will be unformed going through the Dutch Belgians. So you'd unform them and you'd unform yourself.
Yes.
Unless you move the Dutch Belgians first in a way that sort of like gets them out of the way, but I don't think they'll get out of the way.
I don't think you become unformed because they'll be. Here's my thinking. Let's see if it works. These go forward as a blind.
Yeah,
To
but
here, and therefore they've penetrated these guys as a fog of war card.
yeah.
And then as I go through my Brunswickers, I then have to reveal myself instantly because I've now gone through my screen. So does that then mean...
the cards still suffer a card can't go through impenetrable terrain. If it moves through woods, it suffers the penalties for moving through woods. If it goes across the stream, it suffers the
I'm
penalties.
with that. So therefore,
so
if it affects terrain and
suffers,
stuff, I think therefore it would be sensible to say that yes.
Yeah, it would unform them. But they'd be on they would be on this side. But they would still be a blind because of the screen so thick. It's still such a very
For sure, I'll be like right behind them and yeah.
Yeah, I can't see them because
Or
there's nothing but
I
skirmishes.
could
You could spear up that way.
and then just go thvook.
Yeah.
Which I probably will.
Yeah. Because you can just go like that.
Yeah.
And because they're veterans, they can move and do a formation change. But it costs them half their movement if they deploy into, like, if they're coming that way, they're obviously in a column.
Well, actually,
And if they're coming that way, they're obviously in a line.
but what I'll do is I'll pivot.
Yeah, you can.
I'll just pivot through my guys. So I'll just turn my thing like that. So instead of going choo-choo short end,
Yeah.
I can move these backs to here. I just do a turn,
Yeah.
which will unform them.
Yeah.
And unform these.
Yeah.
And then I can move whatever 12 I've got remaining.
Yeah.
And then 3d6 behind here.
Yeah, but if you could achieve the thing and not disorder anyone by just going
choo-choo.
Yeah, and then just do a formation change. So you just go an infantry in column formation is 9. So you move 4.5, and then form line.
Oh, these move 12.
Oh yeah, okay. So you go 6 and then form line.
No, you can go 12 and then you can just.
Oh yeah.
You have to go 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can do that.
Yeah.
And because of veterans, I won't take the disorder.
That's right. Yeah, because they can do a formation.
So we'll do that. We'll choo-choo this way.
Yeah.
Now, what's the distance between these guys if they have to get hits, if they get recoiled? What's the recoil distance?
It's if they get a retire move as a consequence of being shot up. Retire is what is retire? Retire distance is. So if they get a retire result.
Yeah.
Is 12 inches.
Okay, so if you push back through someone else, you'll.
But they'd have to get a retire result, and so
12 is to here.
Yeah.
And then I only rolled 7, which is fine. 7 puts me to here.
Mhm.
That's that one. 12 takes me to here. 7 takes me to here.
Yep.
So that's that. So we can just throw those guys out like that.
Again, guys, just a reminder, Pax Brigade is moving on blinds, hence those 2 white cards that you see. Each blind card conceals up to 2 battalions or 2 units. And Pax Brigade, I know, consists of 4 infantry battalions, therefore I know both of those cards, those blind markers, each one is 2 battalions.
Inch.
9 inches for volleys.
Yeah, that's what
and
I mean.
12 inches for
yeah,
skirmishes.
so it's still skirmish stuff going on.
Yeah.
So what we could do is I will straighten my line like so.
Mm-hmm.
I will, actually what I'll do is wheel that way, like so,
Mm-hmm.
and move these guys like so. Okay, an oblique movement. Can you do obliques?
Yeah.
So just do oblique to here, like so.
Yep.
And then these guys just
Sidestep.
sidestep, and that's it. And then these guys just sort of.
Yep. Step back a little. And you need to put the brigade commander behind him, otherwise he's going to feel awfully
Sad.
embarrassed
Yeah.
when he gets overrun by something.
So Rowan concluded the Allied movement phase by bringing the Brunswick line battalions, the 3 line battalions, and the Brunswick artillery, and the Dutch-Belgian light cavalry brigade onto the high ground to the right of Quatre Bras. So now we moved into the French movement phase.
All right, so these guys are on infantry assault, so they'll do the infantry assaulty thing.
Would you like to move your skirmishers?
Yeah, move them up first. So they're basically just in front of your. Actually, when they move, they might.
Pass through them. How much do you need? 9?
9 inches, so that will get them basically.
2 there.
Yeah, so put them on a bit of an angle that way.
Just like that.
Look, steady on, lads. Steady, boys.
So you want to go
So they're going to go. Nah, what I'll do is I'll drive the skirmishers off to the flank.
Like
So
so.
they'll move, because they move 12 inches. They will move 12 inches this way.
Everyone lines up like so.
Pretty much. Alright, we're not going up the ridge then. Yet, we don't need to. To hell with the skirmishers, they say, knowingly.
Oh yeah, this brigade's only 3 infantry and 1
Yeah.
gun anyway.
That's right.
Waiting for the British to turn up.
Yeah. 9.
Oh, get a bit better.
Yep.
Okay. 9 for these boys. There. Boom. Looks good. There we go.
That's Joseph.
Has he got 6?
Yep, 6 units.
Whoa, that's a
Big brigade.
big brigade.
It's from the largest division in the army.
Yeah. Don't know what the Nassau's chance is.
Now they're still in the river, so they can only go 4.5, which will get them out of the river though. Well, get on you. Get on, boys. Clippity clop. They're hesitant, but that's okay. These guys go 15, which will get them 2.5, which will get them halfway through the stream.
There's not a lot of space. Not a lot of space on this board, Scott.
Yeah, it is a little cramped, but that's all good. It's a Napoleonic battlefield for you, man. It's like these guys go 15, so they're going to go. Yep.
Have I just blocked myself from shooting you on the way in with my skirmishers?
No, not really, because what'll happen is these guys will go 9.5. Sorry, 9 inches.
Next turn. The stickers went as far as they get.
Oh, okay, yeah, cool.
And then you can pivot if you wish.
Yeah, no, we're happy there.
Happy there.
That's them all done. Now this mob here,
Skirmish screen.
skirmish screen's going to go
12 inches to the...
this way.
Ah.
Steady on, boys. Four and a half. I'll get them across the screen.
Splishy splash.
Splishly splashed.
That's them sort of...
Yeah, same with these boys. They're like halfway through the screen. Okay, this brigade's hesitant. Stupid brigade that's hesitant. So, what I'll do is I'll simply sidestep. On the wrong side of the river. You're on the wrong side of the river, you fools.
That's right. But I think I'll leave it to the infantry to...
Yep. The battery belongs to them, so it can't go anywhere. So I've done them. These
middle
lads.
lads.
And these lads, right.
Getting close.
Yeah.
Next turn they're going to be sharpening their bayonets.
Yeah. Actually, I'll have to come this way a bit. That's not going to work.
Well, you get in front of your guns.
Yeah, that's
essentially.
right. That's
Well,
right.
you will be in front of your guns actually.
Yeah.
As you've gone down the hill, so you block gunfire.
Yeah, that's okay.
Well, it's, you know.
Yeah, at some point something's got to give.
That's
right.
right.
That's him. Yeah, he'll come down. Next turn.
You might as well just go in.
And these chaps are just doing their thing. Oh, okay, now over here. Right.
Siegfried.
Stepping back, how much did we say that was? 3 inches, right?
Basically, it's battle base.
Yeah, these are 40 centimetre base. 40 centimetre. I wish. 40 millimetre bases.
So almost a base.
Yeah.
3 inches. Oh no, 3 inches is more.
Yeah. It's about. It's almost 2.5 bases, roughly. So these guys will go back 2.5. Don't expose yourself unnecessarily, chaps. So they've come off the crest now.
Yep, so no longer being a target.
Yeah, so we don't want to get shot at.
Yep.
We've decided that's a mugs game. These guys are there. Skirmishers will go off into the woods. Yep.
So they're not shooting anyone.
Nope. They're just gonna. We'll just hang out in the woods, boss. Like the good voltigeurs that we are, we shall vault into the woods.
Are you leaving that skirmish in front of the infantry there?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's just there.
No worries. Because I'm going to shoot them because they're a target.
Yeah. That's all my movement done. That's it. So that's all the movement. Now shooting.
Justin.
Root, toot, shoot, and electrocute.
Okay. Well, I'll start with me on my side.
Yeah, you've got the initiative. So you shoot first.
Well, I might as well shoot my 3 bases, which is 2 dice, at them.
Okay.
That's your target. And I can't shoot my infantry at you, can I?
No, because you'd be shooting your own skirmishers in the back.
So that was probably
They don't like getting shot in the back of by their own skirmishers.
Oh, but you can't charge this. So next turn I just move them away and then...
Say again?
Oh, I'm just talking about being able to shoot you before you go in.
Yeah, well, if I declare a charge in the next turn,
My skirmish
You-
tree doesn't.
the skirmishers fall back,
No.
and the line can
Well,
say,
I was thinking
stand
of
fire.
shooting you more before you go in with actual musketry fire.
Oh, okay, yeah.
As opposed to but
No.
yeah, I probably could have got a couple rounds of shooting at you. Maybe. Anyway. Means you wouldn't be shooting at me though, mind you.
That's-
well, you don't.
6 of 1 half. Doesn't it?
Okay, so 2 skirmishers
Yep.
shooting at that column. Hit.
1 hit. Alright, so 1 hit on those chaps. Now,
Artillery. Well, anyone really. I can shoot them.
but they're within 9. So you'd have to shoot. You'd shoot them or them or them.
I'll shoot that one there and bounce through to the one behind.
This one here.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the first, so that would be. We get to, yeah, we got a CD, didn't we? Yep.
Yep.
Same again.
Yeah, it's effective range.
Blue dice.
Yep. Is the
Red, and then the yellow.
White
White
one is
one
the
is the back goose.
Yep. Okay, 6 is
so rubbish.
nothing, and the other 2.
Oh, 6 and effective, is it?
6 and effective.
Yeah.
1 on them, is it?
Yeah, 6. Yeah, I've been rolling very high at all, but battery effective.
Yep.
6 is 1.
1 hit.
Take a hit. Not quite the 12 we're hoping for, but we'll say that when you get close to us.
A hit. Blammy. So the skirmishers are fired. The battery's fired. Nothing to shoot at over here.
Well, there is some skirmishes there.
Yeah, we're shooting through woods at each other.
No, these lads.
Okay.
They're
But it's over 12
well,
inches. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So we won't get shooting there. Okay.
Yep.
I've got some cannons.
Yep.
Nothing to shoot at. Oh,
That's
well,
right.
there is. There's these lads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the hill there. The hill's supposed
oh,
to
yeah, no, I can't see.
Yeah.
Does the bridge actually block things?
Yeah, because they're on the same
Okay.
level, so you'd be shooting the bridge.
These lads can shoot, though. 12. Nope. Not within range.
That was in range there. You've got 4 dice coming out of here.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. 4 dice.
Who
And
do
now
I
let's
shoot at?
who have we got in front?
You've got a column here,
Oh, we'll shoot them.
or you've got. I guess you could shoot at these guys again if you wanted.
No, I'll shoot at the column in front of
Yeah,
me.
4 of these.
One
hit.
hit. Oh dear, where's the 3 I need? 4 I wanted. Not rolling very high today.
Ugh.
Should have got 2. That's alright. Then when you go and I can, you know.
Ouch. It's like, ow.
Shoot back.
Hit us.
Shoot
Okay, yeah, so I've got 3 skirmishers there that can shoot.
Roll some dice. So that's 2 dice.
So, yeah, your skirmishers.
Oh, 2 dice minus 1 is 1.
1. Nothing.
Flick.
Okay. 1, 2.
Oh, they're over the ridge?
Yeah, they're on the edge of the ridge.
So they are over the ridge.
Yeah. So they're basically at the ridge. So I can shoot you, you can shoot at me.
Mhm.
Mind you, the line would shoot their own skirmishers at the moment because you've got skirmishers to your front.
Alright.
Yeah, because the skirmishers seem to be, they're not in clumps, they're line, these are just markers, the fact that there's skirmishers out the front.
3 dice.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that 4 dice?
You got 6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6
And they're all
skirmishers.
from that one. Yep,
Yeah.
so that's 4 dice.
4 dice hitting on 5s. 1 hit. 1 hit on the Nassau's. Swang. Okay, so that's that.
Nothing.
I've got a skirmish screen here shooting it down.
Oh, yep. So you are 4,
Yeah.
which is 3, which is shooting at skirmishes is 2.
2 dice, halving the result.
2 dice half the result.
1 hit, so
That's
that's
0.5.
yeah. So I roll again. If I roll 4 plus, it's a hit.
Yep.
1, no.
No.
Okay, now this battery can shoot. They're there.
You've got your guys in the way.
No, this battery.
Oh,
Not
yeah,
that
one
one.
battery, you definitely.
Yeah, this one can't,
And
but
that
this one can.
Yep, okay, 1 battery.
So it's -1.
Minus 1 to the
halved.
dice, half the hit.
Okay, so 7.
6 is a 6,
7.
which is a 1,
Yeah,
which
is
goes to a 0.5, which is
nothing. Nothing over there, and I've got nothing else to shoot over there. And that's
That's
it.
it.
That's the shooting, and there's no. That's it. And now we're up to
Turn.
Colin. So here we find ourselves at the beginning of turn 5, and now would be a good time just to have a bit of a pause and a bit of an overview of where we're at, how we got here, and where we're going. Let's just look at the French deployment first and how things have panned out with their manoeuvring. And the first brigade that we'll look at is Bachou's brigade. Bachou's brigade was initially deployed back here, as you would have seen initially. They've advanced forward with 1 battalion going into the woods, and the other 3 battalions skirting the woods and coming up onto the high ground. That brigade is obviously made from the 3rd and the 61st, 3rd and the 61st. So these 2 battalions here are from the 3rd, and these 2 here are from. Oh, sorry, these 2 are from the 3rd, and these 2 are from the 61st. Okay, so that's what's going on with them. They've sustained 1 casualty from when they came up onto the ridge. They received some cannon fire and they took 1 hit. This battalion here advanced along the side of the ridge. They received fire from the garrison into their flank, and they've taken 3 casualties. Okay, moving along until we come to Campy's brigade. That consists of 5 battalions. They are from the 72nd and the 108th. Okay, the 2 battalions from the 72nd are these 2 battalions here. They are not flying any flags, so that's how they're distinguished. Whereas the 108th has an eagle and 2 Fenians, and they're classed as reservists. So they're the weakest troops in this this French corps. These guys are just standards. They advanced initially towards the strong point that's garrisoned by a large battalion of the 27th Jaegers. They took 1 casualty from skirmish fire, and they took 1 casualty here also from the, well, not skirmish fire, but garrison fire. They've taken a casualty as well due to the fact that they're not being screened by their skirmishers. The gun line, 2 6-pound batteries. They formed a artillery brigade, and they have been firing into the strong point, because quite frankly there's nothing else for them to shoot at, and they've inflicted 2 casualties on the 27th Jaeger. Moving along, we come to the Soys brigade. They consist of 2 regiments consisting each of 3 battalions. The first and second line, these chaps here are the first line because they have, and I've made them the first line because they have 3 eagles. And the second has an eagle and 2 Fenians. These guys are classed as grenadiers, these guys as line. They've advanced basically from their initial start position near the battery. They've come down off the ridge through this field, which is just open terrain, has no effect on movement. They've now commencing to cross the stream. Their skirmish screen has come across and is now just clearing the ridge and starting to fire upon the Nassaus over yonder. And the other infantry brigade is commanded by the divisional commander, which is Jerome Napoleon. And that consists of the 1st and 2nd Light Infantry. And we have the 1st Light Infantry here, and the 2nd Light Infantry here. Okay, and those guys are veterans. As they're going forward, they are now going forward on infantry assault. They, from their initial deployment on blinds, they've come forward. They had a forwards order. They reached the stream, forwards order across, and now they're on infantry assault. And their target for the infantry assault is none other than Quatre Bras. So these guys, they do have a 12-pounder battery allocated to support them, but Jerome has decided that, caution to the wind, chance his arm, and he's going to try and drive in these Nassaus before any supports can come up to help them out. And he'll do that, if he has to do it without artillery support, then that's what he's doing. That said, he can look towards the support from Soys brigade. And of course, there are 2 cavalry brigades, one consisting of the 5th and 6th Lancers, Light Lancers, and the other brigade, which is over here, consists of the 1st Chasseurs de Cheval and the 6th Chasseurs. The first, I don't have the 1st Chasseurs de Cheval, so I'm using the 1st Hussars in their stead. They're classed as grenadiers. These guys are just line, and the Lancer regiments are classed as campaign cavalry and line. And the Chasseurs have, in support of them, an artillery battery, a horse artillery. Oh, actually, no, they're in support of the Lancers. So they're supporting the Lancers. That's it for the French. That's the manoeuvring so far. Where I hope to go from here is the Jerome Napoleon's brigades will hopefully drive in those Nassaus, and Soy's brigade, these 2 regiments of the 1st and 2nd line, are going to try and pierce through this centre point here. I actually am thinking that they might come up, deploy into line, and then come over the ridge and just pour fire into the centre of the British and Allied centre there, and threaten, and then the cavalry will come up and then come through. That's and so far, according to, as you will know from my original plan, things are progressing. I'm not disappointed, put it that way, but we'll just have to see how things pan out. Now let's have a look at the situation from the Allied side of the field. Okay, why these glaring white trays? I'll get to that shortly. Anyway, let's just have a look at where we sit initially. Initially, the Nassau Brigade was deployed behind this ridge, facing towards the French deployment. With the sudden advance of the French on the Allied left, the Nassaus have pivoted and reoriented to the flank in an attempt to refuse their flank. At the same time, the Netherlands brigades, battalions, which were deployed up forward at the stream, they have progressively fallen back until the point that they're just before the ridge at Quatre Bras. They have been replaced by the Brunswick Light Brigade, the 1st, 2nd, 3rd Light Infantry and the Avant-Garde, and they have come up and taken their place with a strong skirmish screen. So we have the Avant-Garde, a Light Infantry Battalion, a Light Infantry Battalion and a Light Infantry Battalion. The next to arrive on the scene was the Pax Brigade. They've come on blinds, and they've done their last move on blinds, and they will in this turn will be revealed. But we know that it's Pax Brigade because, well, we know, and it doesn't really matter which battalions that they are, because they're 4 battalions of veterans. So you have 2 Highland battalions, and obviously you have the 44th and the 1st Royal Scots. So they're moving along, and I'm not quite sure what Rowan has in store for them. I suspect it's going to be try and support these Nassau troops. The rest of the Brunswicks arrived shortly afterwards, together with Merlin's cavalry, and the Brunswick line battalions are all in reserve here, right next to the village of Quatre Bras, and Merlin's light cavalry, the 6th Hussars and the 5th Light Dragoons under Merlin. And obviously over here we have Saxe-Weimar with his Nassau troops in a battalion here, a battalion there, and a battalion in depth. The only really shooting has been some skirmish fire between the 2 skirmish lines. The French have lost 1 skirmisher. The Nassau's have lost 2 Schützen. The battery has been firing in support as well, and so far this regiment from these 3 battalions have each lost. They lost 1 from skirmish fire, 1 from artillery fire, and 1 through artillery bounce through fire. And so, as you can tell, there hasn't been a lot in the way. There hasn't been a lot in the way of casualties, but I think that's going to change shortly. So here we are at the start of turn 5. And we'll shortly be rolling for ADC availability. Then we'll task the ADCs, see which brigades go hesitant, and then dice for initiative, and then we will be back into it. So that's where we are so far. Things are about to get quite interesting, if they weren't already.